Today, we are here to share with you 10 unconventional ways to spice things up in the bedroom. And I guarantee no matter how spicy and kinky and delicious your love life is, there is something on this list for you. So stay tuned, watch the entire video. And also, I'm just going to acknowledge that I'm in a different setup today. And it's because I am joined by my friend, Dr. Tara.
Hello.
Hello. She is an expert in sexual communication, host of Celebs Go Dating, which is a show in the UK, and she's the founder of the Dr. Tara Sex Academy. And she's also a brilliant human being and
You too.
a creative sexual mind.
A creative sexual mind. I like it.
Yeah, every
and
time.
you too. You have helped so many men, and I think that's just commendable.
Thank you. Well, and you've helped like an entire generation. Like she is the sex expert
Yo,
for
what's
Gen
up, Gen Z?
You can find her on TikTok. You can find her on Instagram. You can find her on and also every time we chat, I leave with like I'm like inspired. I'm like, that was a really good idea.
That. Yeah.
And so each of us have brought 5 different ways to spice things up that we're playing with or that we see working with in our personal lives and in our professional lives.
Right. So these are 10 effective ways to spice things up in your sex life.
Okay, I'm gonna get started with my number 1
for
me is restraints that help you engage the pelvic floor. In brief, I think we often think about restraints as like purely kinky, right? Like whips and chains and like bondage and spreader bars and all that. But what I'm really interested in recently is the way that we have to like engage our pelvic muscles to reach orgasm, and like a lot of pleasure comes from inside of just our own body, and you can actually use restraints, or you can even get creative with like walls and furniture and the way that you're holding your body to engage and activate your pelvic floor in a way that increases orgasm and is also really, really good for squirting in particular.
Oh, and I love squirting.
Do you like restraints?
Yes, I do. But I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
So
it's like a gym, right? Like
it's
I know
sex
you've been working out a lot recently. Like, yeah, it is. Like it's just different ways to engage your body from the inside, because when we're just like laying back and letting sex happen to us, whether we're a man or a woman or non-binary person, like we're not engaging those muscles, and then we're kind of just like waiting for our genitals to produce an orgasm instead of like getting involved from the inside out.
Ooh, I love that. Well, while you do restraints for your pelvic floor, throw in the number 2.
Yeah, give us it, Dr. Tara.
Well, the number 2, what I really, really like, and as a sexual communication professor, a lot of these items that I'm going to share today are related to communication. But I know whenever people talk about communication, about sex, people are kind of like, yawn, whatever. This is an effective way to spice up your sex life. We have research to prove it, and it's sexting. And sexting can be, people are like, okay, what do I actually say? You can sext about the past, the present, or the future. For example, you can sext about the past, like, oh, I'm thinking of last time I you. Oh, can I say that?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the last time we and it was so hot, right? So like talking about the past, and
so
that's
simple.
Great sexting. You can talk about the present, like I'm so hot right now thinking of you, or like what are you wearing?
Hot,
right? Okay,
so
if
hot.
I get that, I'll be like, that's hot. Okay, my husband, if you're listening, he is listening. And number 3 is the future. Can't wait to take your clothes off tonight.
Yeah.
Or like this weekend I'm gonna make you dripping wet. Right? So sexting, you can sext about the past, present, and future.
I love that. And also using like sensory words, hard, wet, like describing what something looks like, what something feels like.
All the things.
It doesn't have to be super complicated. Like I think all of those
My favorite is your pussy felt so good.
Right.
That's my favorite.
That's gonna make me laugh if I say that. It's like, yeah, I love this because it is so simple and yet it's so profound, and it works in a new relationship if you've already established that. It works in an existing relationship, in a marriage.
Works for everyone.
And what I love about this also is that it creates foreplay early on with your clothes still on. Like that's foreplay. If I get that message first thing in the morning, even if it's like a few more days until we're gonna like actually have our date or be together, like now my gears are turning. I'm already thinking about you. I'm already getting wet. I'm getting turned on. Like, yeah, we're planting seeds that are going to be, orgasmic flowers a few days from now. Yes. Number 3, which actually I think this is perfect to come off of sexting, which is genital worship. So what I love about genital worship in general is like it is a little bit inherently kinky, a little bit inherently taboo, especially if you grew up in organized religion. Like it's like the golden calf. You're not supposed to worship genitals.
I
Those
grew
are
up
dirty.
both a Buddhist and a Catholic.
Oh, so like double
Very
bad.
complicated.
Double bad to worship genitals, right?
Yes.
But I also think on a lighter note, you could just consider genital worship as treating genitals as a sacred space, like treating your lover's body as sacred, venerating it, speaking to their genital. Like you can worship them with your eyes, with your mouth, with your words, with just your energy. The way, like, imagine if you were touching a pussy or touching a cock as if it was like, you know, God or goddess itself, right? Like you would touch it with a lot of love and care and compassion and consideration. And like, that's, So like, even if you don't name that that's what you're doing, bringing that energy into sex is going to change the way that you show up, the way that you lick and suck and
all the things.
You're going to do it with a spiritual bend.
And that's literally magical. When my partner worships my genital, I'm just like, wow, I feel like a goddess. I think it increases my sexual desire overall, like my libido overall.
Yep.
And in terms of maintaining my attraction towards my partner, that's such an effective strategy.
Okay, you want to hit us with that, number 4?
Yes, number 4, still within the communication realm, it's dirty talk. And I know that, you know, you've watched videos about dirty talk and you know the types of dirty talk. And I just want to mention it because even though it's been talked about a lot, people are not using it.
No,
like research found that only, I think, 1 in 5 men actually engage with dirty talk during sex. And I think it's related to overall sexual confidence.
Agreed.
Because to say things that are so, you know, out of pocket, so like non-traditional during sex, it takes a lot of confidence, right? A lot of like sexual self-esteem. In order to engage in dirty talk in a way that your partner will feel like, oh my God, that's sexy, you gotta really deliver.
Yes.
So in this case, I want to talk about delivery. When you do dirty talk, there are different types of delivery. There's a dominant delivery, right? Which is like saying something that's, you know, bend over, I'm gonna f your p, or like things like that, right? But you can also do like whispering.
Yeah.
You can also whisper
soft,
something.
sensual delivery, like
oh, you're so good at sucking my cock.
Yeah.
Right? Like
you
you can
feel
whisper.
So good. Your pussy's so wet right now.
Exactly. And then lastly, if this is your thing, you can like moan and say something.
Yes.
You want to give us an example of moaning while saying something?
I wasn't ready for that.
Or like, oh, who's daddy's little girl?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's a little...
It's also a little dominant. It's also kind of combined.
Yeah.
Also. But what I was actually going to say is, in order to, yes, it is so much about how you say it, not literally what you say.
Right, because you can prep what you want to say.
And also,
right?
you got to be willing to get it wrong. You got to be willing to like fuck it up, like fail at it, like make it
like,
be awkward,
laugh and then come back.
Yes, and then come back. Like you're only going to get better at this by trying, by screwing it up. And then also, I also recommend try speaking it in the mirror.
Yeah,
because you're going to say it in the mirror, and you're going to like laugh at yourself. You're going to be like, oh, it sounded funny. Like, great, try it again and again and again. Like, look at yourself in the mirror. If you could look at yourself in the mirror and say, like, yeah, that's daddy's little slut, then you're gonna be able to say that to her.
Yes. Okay, it's so funny. I actually went to this like dinner party and I met a girl that her job is like OnlyFans, and her job is listening to dirty talk and rate them. So like guys call in, pay for the minute, and like say dirty talk. Yeah.
I love
say
that.
the dirty talk to her, and then she'll be like, that one's not so hot.
Doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, exactly.
So on to number 5, which is anal, lingam, and yoni massage. So really what I'm saying here is, if you want to spice things up, try massaging your partner's genitals or anus. And the reason I love this so much, the reason that this is a way of spicing things up, is that we're not talking about a hand job. We're not talking about fingering. We are talking about an extended session that is meant for you to use your hands in a way that brings healing and pleasure to their body directly. It's not about getting them to reach orgasm. It's not about like a particular outcome. It doesn't even need to lead to sex. It's not about foreplay. It is the gift of giving physical touch, affection, love to this part of a person's body. And especially if you're doing this on a pussy or yoni massage or on an anus, like, we have all had sex that didn't feel that great, or that we were penetrated before we were ready, we weren't really turned on. It creates little traumas in the body, tears in the muscle. And so like, This is a way of healing that. Just the same way it feels really good for your partner to like rub your feet after a long day or rub your shoulder if you've been sitting on your computer for a while. Like you get to give this touch to their most personal, most private body part. And it's something that's like so special. Have you ever had a Yoni massage?
Oh yeah, and I love it. Yoni massage is a love language.
Yes.
And I love receiving it.
And it's something you can also give to yourself.
Yes, yeah, you totally can give to yourself, but I'm gonna be honest, I love receiving from a partner. I love doing nothing. Like being a pillow princess and just like open my legs.
Well, and that's one of the best parts. Like so much about sex is like we're giving and taking and we're trying to please each other. And like this is an opportunity to just completely kick back or invite your partner to just be in receiver mode.
And just really, I feel really taken care of. And I think it's a good feeling.
I love that. And I made 3 courses on each of those. So if you're interested in checking out my courses on Lingam massage, Yoni massage, and anal massage, look in the link in the description below.
Yes, do it because you need to do it right. Number 6 is related to a practice that I have religiously done for the last 5 years, and it's naked sexual meditation. So you can do this solo to really just maintain sexual wellness for yourself, but it's also a really hot, unconventional way to maintain passion with your partner. Because when do you ever get naked, sit down, hold hands, and meditate? Never, right? So if you do this, like let's say once a week or once a month, it is a part of spicing up your sex life. Research found that sexual meditation actually increases sexual desires. If you have partners or if you are listening and you're struggling with like low libido and this or that related to libido, research found that sexual meditation and other sexual mindfulness activities actually help increase libido. Make sure that before you do sexual meditation, set aside like at least 20 minutes. Get naked together, right? Maybe set the scene, like have candles lit, maybe play light music if you want. But if you want to have someone guide you through the couple's naked sexual meditation, I have a sexual meditation guide on YouTube. If you just go to Love Bites by Dr. Tara, you'll have free guided meditation on YouTube that you can do solo or with your partner. And this is where you really get naked, you breathe together. So there's breathwork component, there's sensations component, there's also affirmations component where you look at each other and you go like, I love your sexual energy. When do you ever do that? Like almost never. I really encourage people to try do this with their partner.
Do not sleep on that and do not underestimate how important and powerful that can be, because that kind of work is like building the foundation upon which everything else rests. We often think that the foundation is really like the body or the genitals or blood flow or whatever. Actually, the foundation for everything is your mindset, your energy, your mental body, your spirit body. Don't discount how important those are because the body follows that. Yeah. Not body first. It's actually energy first and then the body follows.
Love that. Love the way you explain that.
All right, which brings me to number 7, which could not be more body-based, which is to try animalistic.
We need both.
We need both. It's both and. Yes, build the foundation and then get in there and try tip number 7, which is animalistic sex. I teach a methodology called the erotic blueprints. One of the blueprints that I've seen that it doesn't include is like being really animal. And what I love about that is like we are animals at the end of the day, right?
We are. We're social, sexual animals.
We are one particular breed. We're one particular species of animal, but we are an animal. Getting back into our sort of animal brain, which our lizard brain is where our sexual reproduction, libido, orgasm all lives, right? Just the same way that like you don't have to think about digesting food. You don't have to really think about sleeping. Your body does it automatically. Same is true with sex, but we treat sex very differently. And in doing so, we kind of leave out often, we try to get like very human about it. And actually there's something so powerful about unlocking your like raw animalistic nature. And I think if you or your partner have trouble letting go in bed or relaxing during sex, like being an animal is a really great way to get out of your, and yeah, it's a little silly. So when
it's
I say
hot, though.
It's so hot. So when I say animalistic sex, I mean it in 2 ways. I mean, like you could interpret it as sort of like caveman sex, grunting, groaning, being physical, being a little aggressive, but also you could channel an animal that you feel connected to and play with being that animal a little bit during sex, like bringing that kind of animal into yourself.
What if my animal is a koala?
I was just gonna ask what your animal would be.
My animal would be a red panda.
Oh my God, so cute. I saw a cute video that's like red panda scared by a rock. So you do that here.
But I love animalistic sex, and I love that you're mentioning that because like whenever my husband bites my neck, I'm like, ooh,
oh my God.
Okay, we're there.
I feel like a lioness. Like, that's all it takes. Just like drag
like,
some teeth against my neck during sex. Like every hair on my body. I love a mark. So not everybody loves a mark.
Not everybody.
I do though. I love a handprint. I
Makes
love a
sense that
bruise.
we're sex coaches.
I know, right? I'm like, that is a victory right there. Like that's a gold sticker. That's my gold star from the great, I got yesterday. Be an animal. Pick an animal. Try different animals. Like, I want to be a cat today. I want to be a dog. Like, yeah. You got it. Okay, what's number 8?
Okay, well, because number 7 is like very like high, like intense, like, a lot of energy thing, right? And number 8, building off of the idea that a lot of times as busy adults, long-term relationships, that there are times where you really don't have the capacity, either time capacity, mental space capacity to have like these extended sessions or include all these other things we've been talking about. But you still want sexual gratification and satisfaction. Masturbation is a huge part of a healthy sex life. Like we masturbate regularly, and as sex coaches, and we love it. It maintains our sexual well-being. What I think is still unconventional and actually really good at maintaining passion, I do this with my husband and we love it, is mutual masturbation. So
preach.
Watch each other masturbate. It's really hot. I've said this on my channel like many times, but this is my first time on your channel. Like I love watching my partner come. It's so hot watching a man orgasm and like, the penis, the muscles, the load, like all the
face,
things.
the grunt, the noise, hot.
So mutual masturbation is an unconventional way to spice up your sex life, and I highly recommend you guys try it.
Also, you're more likely to reach orgasm that way. Like no matter what is going on between
and
your
fast.
Body, the day that
it's
you
a
had.
good quickie.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great quickie.
You only have to set aside less than 10 minutes. Like it's done.
Honestly, I love mutual masturbation.
We both come. Like it's great.
And I was telling you earlier, my favorite porn genre is solo male. Like I love to just watch a guy jack off. It's like it feels so consensual. It feels so safe. I'm just like, yes, this is so hot. I love watching you reach orgasm. I love being in this moment with you. And I love that like I know how to get my body there. So if we don't have that much time and my body's not going to be ready for penetration, we don't have time for foreplay. We're just like tired or whatever. Like we can lay on opposite sides of the bed. We can both be relaxing at the same time. We can come. It's great. I love it so much. My next tip is going to be a little kinky and out of the box for a lot of folks, but I'm going to put it out there anyways because we're spicing things up, and that is baby birding. So if you've already been following my channel, Lisa's shaking her head behind the camera. I'm weird. That's why we're here. I'm proud of it. So I already love turning my partner into a human dessert platter. Like I love getting some whipped cream, some chocolate syrup, some berries, like having them lie back, like eating those things off of our partner's body. But I don't think that is that like extreme of it. Like maybe all of us have had like a whipped cream experience, right? So I like taking this a step further and feeding them their food through my mouth. And this doesn't have to be that gross or like visceral. You don't have to like chew up their food and spit it into their mouth. Like you can fill your mouth with a few berries and then go to kiss your partner and like squish up the berries with your mouth and your tongue as you're making out. So they're like getting, like you're having this shared experience. It's really sensual. It's very kinky because like when do you ever feed your partner with your own mouth? Right? And if you want to get weird with it, like you can get weird. I've had typically if you have a partner, like I've had someone lie down and put berries and chocolate and stuff all over them so they can't move. This is a form of bondage because if you move, you're going to start dripping. Okay. So you got to stay perfectly still.
But you're also dripping from
But then you're right, which I got a sex blanket. So like you can drip, but like I want
you, it's sexy. I want to try it.
This is like the lightest form of, it's berries bondage. You don't move.
Perfect for me.
Don't move because the strawberry's going to fall up. So after you do that, like maybe I'll take like a swig of champagne and come over and pour that into their mouth and baby bird them champagne because they are bound. They can't get up and move and do anything. And I don't know.
Let me see if I can talk my husband into doing this.
What are the comments of this? Is this TMI? Like, I love this. Have you ever? So you haven't?
He doesn't drink, so maybe kombucha.
It could be booch. It could be just water. It could be tea. I have done this with tea.
I don't know about tea.
Not super hot tea. I have done this on a date with tea.
Oh, sexy.
Or what? I don't even remember. Maybe it was tea. Maybe whatever. I think it was tea.
That is very creative.
And then instead of like drinking from your own cup, the rule was that you could only drink from the other person's mouth.
Yes. I love it. I love it.
Okay, bring us home with tip number 10.
All right, well, tip number 10 is actually very easy to do, an effective way to spice up your sex life, and is not often talked about. And it's through the practice of audible breathwork. And I love that you're breathing right now. Yeah, so breath work is extremely valuable for all kinds of things like overall sexual well-being, libido boosting, penis control, erection control. For women, it's also helping sending more blood flow to the clitoris, so it helps us feel more horny, so it helps with arousal. So breath work is an important practice for sex in general, but I talk about audible breath work as do this before sex. So do this as a part of your foreplay to spice it up. My partner and I do this. Sometimes we'll hug each other naked in bed and do this, or we'll hold hands and do this, but hugging just feels right. You can hug, close your eyes, both of you. Take a deep breath, synchronized, right? Take synchronized deep breath. So maybe say like we do 4 seconds. So, and then let out a moan. So, and you do this however many times you want, like let's say minimum 3, but my partner and I are both like breathwork Wim Hof people, so we'll do like 10 to 20.
And the longer you go, the deeper
like,
it gets.
My husband almost always gets an erection from this. Just us naked hugging, right? So he feels like my nipples are getting hard because we're moaning and we're breathing. And we do this before we have sex, and it's an amazing way to do something else, for a change in your sexual routine.
And
it's really hot.
It's a form of foreplay that is not like directly onto the body. I mean, I think so much we think that sex starts once she's wet or once he's hard. And actually, like, this is a really great way to get into, especially if you have responsive sexual desire, to get turned on and to get aroused without it needing to be about your genitals, without it needing to be like, you know, this like visible thing that like is tangible. Like
we just need breathing and moaning.
And you're gonna be so much closer together when you do start touching each other's bodies,
it's
or
sexy.
touching genitals, because you're already on the same wavelength. You have a course that I would love for you to share with my viewers.
Yeah, so I started, as a professor of sexual communication, I wanted to take what I know and what I teach in college to the public. So I started Dr. Tara's Sex Academy. And these courses are, they're a little bit more general and foundational rather than topical. So they focus on helping you understand what sexual well-being is in general. So the first course is the foundations of sexual well-being. The second one will be confidence in 7 days. And then the last one is this course. It's ways to explore your sex life with your partner in unconventional, non-traditional ways. For your viewers, I actually have $20 off for this course, and I'm going to give you the link so you can share it with them in the video description.
Yep, it will be in the description. Check out Dr. Tara's course. Check out her channels on TikTok and on Instagram. In case it wasn't abundantly obvious to you, she is a font of incredible knowledge and information on sex and sexuality and communication, and just keeping things interesting and spicy and vibrant.
Ooh,
so where can they find you to follow you?
You can always go to my website, lovebites.co. That's LUVBITES.co. All of my information's on there.
If you loved this, please, first of all, give it a like and let me know in the comments if you want to see more content from me like this, because this was super fun to make and I would be happy to do this all the time. This is Caitlin B. I'll see you here next week. Bye.